Hi, I'm Cindy Bertram. Thanks for joining me today on Extraordinary Not Ordinary. When you think about a success story, what comes to your mind? Maybe achieving a special goal, maybe a successful accomplishment, or facing a challenge and then turning that into a success. Despite the challenges that so many businesses have had to deal with in 2020 due to the unexpected outbreak of coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, and the continued impacts we've seen too this year. We've seen businesses get through it. Some people actually paused, but during that time period, other people decided to maybe switch and focusing on different things. One business I've seen who actually has been focusing on success in a new way, and I want to share more about today, is actually truly an example of extraordinary, not ordinary. They decided instead to focus on future growth and rebranding themselves. On September 28th at Sea Trade Cruise Global Conference, American Queen Steamboat Company, which owns Victory Cruise Lines, actually announced they merged under one brand and are now known as American Queen Voyages. American Queen Voyages is now comprised of American Queen Voyages River, American Queen Voyages Lake and Ocean, which incorporates their Victory Cruise Lines fleet, and American Queen Voyages Expedition. American Queen Voyages Expedition actually includes their new Alaska and American Expedition experiences, which they'll be offering in 2022 next year. And with American Queen Voyages, their new tagline is Discovery Runs Deep. And with this, American Queen Voyages is really inviting travelers to go off the beaten path and discover new experiences in North America. As far as American Queen Steamboat Company's history, they've actually been around for 10 years, a decade. John Wagner, who was actually the founder and chairman in this group, they actually acquired the American Queen, the largest paddle wheeler steamboat ever built, in 2011. And after going through the financing, they actually named the company American Queen Steamboat Company, and they began offering experiences on the Great American Rivers. John Wagner has joked about how they thought he'd have one boat, but of course that's changed. Their growth continued on with the acquisition of American Empress and another paddle wheeler, and they've added more vessels. In January of 2019, American Queen Steamboat Company actually entered into agreement to purchase Victory Cruise Lines, and this gave them the opportunity to sail beyond the U.S. rivers. And with the acquisition of American Cruise Lines, they expanded into having 7 vessels in their fleet, offering diverse itineraries. And earlier in March this year, American Countess was actually making her debut. And as their new flagship, the American Countess is the largest overnight passenger steamboat ever built, but just welcomes 417 guests. American Queen Voyages has been implementing the safe and healthy protocols, and they're actually the first cruise line to require that all their guests and travelers have been vaccinated, as well as getting a PCR test prior to embarkation. And they are now working on launching their brand into expedition cruising with their American Queen Voyages Expedition. These newly built 186 passenger vessels will operate all-inclusive cruises in Alaska to Alaska. Ocean Victory will debut in 2022 next year, and after that, the Ocean Discoverer will debut in 2023. John Wagner, the founder and chairman, mentions it truly was the perfect timing to get the word out as far as our neat options that American Queen Voyages now provides, because people really want to go on a vacation now, but they might not be ready to go to Europe overseas. And having diverse destinations around the country with American Queen Voyages, they just require maybe a short domestic flight or maybe driving. Along with having boats at smaller capacity, people feel safer, and that provides a really fantastic comfort zone. Being able to provide those diverse options from river, lakes, and ocean, as well as launching their expedition cruising with their new branding, American Queen Voyages truly brings a new dimension, and they truly are an example of extraordinary, not ordinary. Every week, I share stories about successful companies, people, their companies, what they do to make a difference in the world. And once again, thanks for joining me. Until next week, Cindy Bertram, Extraordinary, not ordinary. Thank you.